Hi, I'm Kyle with DIY Auto Homeschool, and we're back to take a look at a couple of issues, noise complaints on this 2003 Chevrolet Suburban. Well, it's not just noise complaints. Got a complaint of a grinding noise when they hit the brakes. Probably going to end up needing rear brakes for that. Sorry if this wind is playing heck with the mic. Finally had a break in the rain, but the wind doesn't seem to want to work with me. So, probably going to be looking at the rear brakes, but this video is going to focus on the other complaints. There's a squeaking noise he can hear kind of at low speeds when he starts to move, and there's also a vibration when he's driving. So we're going to hop in the vehicle, we're going to take a look at those, and we're going to see where this video leads us. So the first thing we're going to hear right now when we just start moving is that I can hear the brakes grinding, and that's coming from the rear. So we've got that in our heads we'll look at here in a bit, but first we're going to focus on the vibration. Sorry for the shaking. The vibration and the squeaking noise. I'm going to roll the window down, and I know you guys probably can't hear it like I can, just because sound doesn't always transfer the best in videos like this, but we're going to see what we've got. We're going to sit here at a standstill, and we're just going to start to creep forward. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there's like a consistent kind of a squealing, squeaking noise that's kind of on off, and it's very, very quick. Loud, soft, and one of the things you can do while you're driving these to check is verify what you are and aren't doing, like ball joints and bushings in the suspension, even tie rod ends. Any ball style joint can end up causing kind of a squeaking like that. But when you're driving straight, low speeds, and you're not going over bumps that are really going to make the ball joints move, or you're not steering and it cause the tie rod ends to move, then you can kind of rule those out. So right now we're just traveling in a straight line at a low speed, and I hear that squeaking noise a little bit. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around here, and we're going to try to listen for this vibration, or feel for this vibration, and see if we can feel it. I have my suspicions already, but we're going to find out in just a second. Let me get turned around. Can you hear those brakes? I don't know if you could hear the squeaking, but my goodness, if you guys can't hear the brakes. Let's get turned around and take a listen here. Oh no. Alright. Sure is convenient I got this nice short little stretch of straight road by the house. That's just the brakes. Alright, here we go. Alright, there we go. I felt it. We're gonna turn around, try this again, because what I'm feeling, and it's what I expected, kind of what I was anticipating to run into. What I'm feeling is a very noticeable vibration while accelerating, while hitting the gas. And general rule of thumb, there's always weird instances, things, not the way you expect them, but general rule of thumb, if you get a vibration that you can feel really well when you're hitting the gas, accelerating, and it goes away when you let off the gas, then you're probably looking at like a universal joint in the drive shaft, and not just U-joint. It's typically what we look at, but you can get the same kind of complaint in like a CV joint on a front-wheel drive car, or CV axles, or even some of the drive shafts styles that have CV joints in them. If you get a vibration on acceleration that goes away when you let off the gas, then you're looking at the joints on the drive shafts. And we're going to try this again. And there's one other thing that I really want to look for, and I'll tell you if I feel it, and I'll explain why and what it means to me. Okay, and there it was. So what I wanted was the 1-2 shift is usually a little bit low to feel it, but the 2-3 shift is high enough. When I hit the 2-3 shift, I was feeling the vibration, and you can feel how consistent it is, and it got worse with speed. It got more consistent, faster pace with a higher speed. But if you only listen to it in one gear, then that increase in pace with speed could be related to engine speed. But holding my foot on the gas through the 2-3 shift and feeling that the engine idles down, or the engine speed goes down because you shift to a higher gear, but the speed and the feeling of the vibration did not change, did not go away. It stayed the same speed and continued to increase relative to vehicle speed. That's how I verified that it was not related to engine speed, but was related to vehicle speed. If it had changed for some reason with engine speed, then I'd be looking at something else, going more towards the engine. But holding my foot on the gas through the shift and feeling that it did not drop with the engine speed, did not go away, didn't cut out. It stayed consistent with the increase in speed as the engine speed went down. It stayed consistent with the vehicle speed and the increase in vehicle speed as the engine speed went down. Then I'm almost certain that I'm looking at a drive shaft. And I'm gonna see if I can try to find a way to get you guys to hear that squeaking noise. I'd really like to do that, but I don't know, I'll see what I can figure out. But right now, we're probably looking at U-joints on the rear drive shaft. That's probably what it's going to be, because right now we're in two-wheel drive. The front drive shaft's moving, but it's not under load when we're accelerating, which is where we're feeling that difference. It's vibration versus no vibration. So let's go ahead and get parked here, and we will see what we can do. Okay, so I tried to get that noise on camera. I wasn't able to, but what we're going to do is we're going to jack the back end of this up, and we're going to take a quick look at the drive shaft. I'm probably just going to pull it out and end up doing the U-joints, because I'm really certain, I'm really confident from the noise I heard, from the vibrations, that that's the issue we're looking at. So we're going to jack the vehicle up. Don't forget, you got to chalk the wheels before you jack it up. Okay, now as you can see, you got the wheel chalk up there in front of the front wheels, and it's hard to tell, but this is actually on a little bit of an incline. The front of the vehicle is lower, which is one of the reasons I definitely want the wheel chalk in the front. But I will show you here shortly the reason for having it on a slope like that. But let's get underneath there and jack the back of this vehicle up and take a look at the drive shaft. Okay, so we've got the jack under the differential. It's not bending the cover or anything. It's just sitting on the bottom of it. We're going to jack the back of the vehicle up, and support it, and then we will take a look at the drive shaft. Okay, so we got the vehicle jacked up. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take jack stands and I'm going to put them under the vehicle to support it. General rule of thumb, never get underneath the vehicle that's supported only by a jack. In this case, I'm going to have to be underneath it a little bit just to put the jack stands under it, but I'm not going to work underneath this vehicle until it is securely setting on and supported by jack stands. I may keep the jack in place, I may not, depending on how in the way it is, but the weight of the vehicle will be sitting on the jack stands before I crawl underneath this vehicle to work on it. You do not want to drop a vehicle on you. I heard that it doesn't turn out well. Okay, so jack stands are in place. Now we're going to go underneath there and take a look, see what we can see. Hi, so here we are under the vehicle, and I am going to show you what we have found and why we're going to be putting U-joints in this drive shaft. I just got to see if I can prop my camera up to get a good steady view of this, because it's going to take a steady view for you to see what's going on here. Okay, so this is the rear U-joint. This is the differential drive shaft that comes up to it, and you want to look for anything like orange dust coming out or anything, but that's not what's happened. But if you, I hope you can see this as well as I can. If you hold one still or hold this still, and you either push up and down on one, you can see there's movement in one that doesn't transfer to the other. Meaning when the differential's wanting to move here, I'm trying to hold this so I can show you. It is slight, and I know the differential's moving a little, but especially if I push on it, there is slop, and it's not much in that U-joint. I think that's where I get and that is movement this way and this way. That's not the drive shaft on the other end sliding in and out or up and down. This is in this U-joint right here, and I hope you guys can see it well enough, like I can here. So this U-joint is definitely bad, and that's what's causing our noise and our vibration. And when we get this out and apart, I guarantee you what we're going to find is one of these cups is just going to be full of rust, and probably one or more of the bearings is like disintegrating in there, the roller needles in there. So right now we're going to work on taking this out, and I'm going to explain to you why I have the vehicle parked and lifted the way I do. So again, I know it's hard to tell. Down there's the front of the vehicle, this is the rear of the vehicle, this is where the drive shaft goes into the back of the transfer case. As you remember, the front of the vehicle is parked on a downhill slope, wheel chalk down there, saving my life, and I've jacked the back of the vehicle up to put it at even more of an angle. One of the reasons is that if I can avoid it, I really like to, if I can, I like to avoid cleaning up messes. And many times when you pull these drive shafts out, you'll get some ATF, some automatic transmission fluid leak out of the back of the transfer case, because that's what they use in these, or if you have two-wheel drive. you get some ATF come out of there, or whatever fluid is in your transfer case. You can get some fluid that wants to leak out when you pull the drive shaft. So putting the front of the vehicle at more of a downward angle, it's just physics to try to keep as little from leaking out the back as possible. And I'll still probably get a rag to put up in there, and maybe a pan to put underneath it just to catch it in case it does, because it's easier to move a pan than to clean up ATF from the driveway. But we're going to flip our attention back around, and we're going to pull this drive shaft out, and then we're going to take it into the shop, and we're going to take a look at it, and we're going to pull these put these U-joints in. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the bolts out of the straps for the drive shaft, or for the U-joint. Let's give the neighbor a moment to leave. Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to take the bolts out of the strap for the U-joint, and let's move you up there and take a look at that. So these are the bolts we're going to take out, and then we're gonna pop the truck in neutral so we can spin this around and we can take the other side out. Now, I've seen a lot of people that do this backward or do this wrong. You know, so long as it works, I guess it's not that bad. These bolts, they are not 11 millimeters. They are 7/16. They are standard, and I mean, you can disagree with that. You'd just be wrong. They're 7/16, and that is the socket you should use for them, or a wrench, whichever you happen to be using. I'm using a ratchet. I got those loose. I'm gonna go pop the truck in neutral, flip it over, take the other two out. Okay, so we're in neutral. Gonna grab it, and when you're turning it, you're turning the rear wheels, so, you know, well, one of the rear wheels in this case, because differential magic. Alright, so this, now that the wheels aren't locked, you may have to hold the drive shaft and kind of give it a little bit of a quick tug, or I may have to go put it back in park. Anyway, let me do that. So we're back in park, and there we go. Now, you do not have to take all of these all the way out, and I'll show you. If you take one of these out all the way on each side, and then one out just far enough to get enough play to let the strap hang down like that, and we'll do the same on the upper side. Sorry if you guys can't see it, but it's exactly what I just did right there. Pull these two out, loosen up that other side, just enough to pull the strap over and out of the way. So now what we'll do is we'll come up here and we'll take a pry bar, let me see, up in between here, and we'll pry the drive shaft and the U-joint away from the differential. Just be careful, there's threads on the end of this pinion here for the differential. Just don't gouge at those threads, don't mess them up or anything. I'm probably going to take my pry bar and I'm going to stick it up right here, set it on this side, what'll be this top edge, and then pry down and push on, if I can push safely on the middle of that stud, or even just off the outside edge right here. I'm just going to pry this drive shaft away from the differential, and you'll see these cups will come here. One may even fall out, but right now it doesn't matter if we drop the cups, because we're replacing the U-joint. So let me go grab that. Okay, so here we go. Pry bar right up inside there, and we're gonna pull, and I think I see a little gap starting to come. I may push on it. Oh my goodness, look at all that dust and crap. Alright, Because this has been a little bit more of a pain and I don't want to send the drive shaft flying, what I'm going to do is temporarily just put this in and start it enough just for that strap to be there so it'll stop it from coming all the way out and flying off. If I get this loose here. Oh, goodness. That was an elbow. If you can avoid elbowing the rear control arms, that's always fun. Alright, so now that's loose. And actually we can push it in and turn it. Oh, goodness. Get it clear of that. Okay. And we'll basically just do what I did here anyway. Go ahead and put that back up there. Just so we don't lose them, we don't have any issues. Just set those straps back in place. Just like that. Let's flip around and we'll take a look at the front of this and we'll get the drive shaft out of here. Let me get this hat back on. You guys don't want to look at that crazy hair. Okay. So here's where it just pulls straight out. And I've got myself a rag. I'm going to sit it underneath here. I don't have a drain pan right now, but hopefully I shouldn't need it. This just pulls straight out. Just try not to hit anything. It's not really difficult to pull out, but it's, you just kind of shake it up and down, and there. Comes straight out just like that. And now we've got a free and clear drive shaft, and we're going to pull this out from under here. And since that's not leaking nothing, I'm going to take my rag with me and just use it to put on the end of this drive shaft for right now. So let's get out from under the truck and take a look at this drive shaft. Okay, so we've got the drive shaft here in the shop, aka my garage. And this is my U-joint and ball joint press, and it makes this job pretty easy, and I'm going to walk you through the process and show you how to do it with this. But I know some of you will not have this, so once we replace this U-joint, which is actually the bad one, I will show you how to do the other side of it with without having one of these tools or going and renting one of them, which most parts stores have a system in place that you can rent it. Basically, you purchase it, you pay for the price of it, you use it, they let you bring it back and return it. But if you are not in a position to be able to do that, but you've got a vise and some sockets, I will show you how you can go ahead and do that. But first off, let me show you the lovely little thing that GM has. So let me see if you can see here. Right here, this little nub sticking out, and oh, it's not in the shop like that. This one here, this nub, and this one down here. These are there's injected plastic, or some people call it wax. I believe it's plastic. And when these U-joints are put in here from the factory, they inject this plastic hot, and it goes down through the little groove, and it fills that in with this nice hot plastic that then solidifies, and you will not get this out unless you melt that plastic out. So what you have to do is you have to take a torch and you have to heat it up until this kind of spouts out, and it'll burn as it comes out, and you'll see it come spouting out. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use the only torch I have available to me at the moment, and I'm going to try to do that, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. Because like I said, usually I'd use the oxygen acetylene torch, but you won't get this out if you don't heat this up and take this plastic out. Now bear in mind that that runs all the way down through here, so you'll want to heat along here and all the way out there to make sure you get it all out. Okay, for that side, that's probably good enough. We'll have to clean out whatever remnants are left, but we still got this one to do, and I will go ahead and do that. I don't know. I may put it on camera, may not. We'll see. Okay, I've let it cool down just a little bit, not much, still pretty warm, but we're going to start taking this out. And hopefully it goes pretty smoothly. Already lost one of the caps. Alright, so basically this cup on this side sits around. It's bigger than the cup on the U-joint, so that it can travel into it, and then this side, obviously, as you can see, pushes on the center of that cup, and so it will push the U-joint body through the drive shaft far enough that either the cup will fall out, or we can pull it out of this, and it should come out far enough that we can take a pair of pliers and pull that out. And then we'll flip it around, and on this side where the cup is gone, we'll push it by just pushing on the center of that U-joint body and shove it all the way through until this cup either falls out, or we can take a pair of pliers and pull it out, and then this will just pull up and out. So that's how we're going to do this. Let me grab my ratchet. Now, very often I would use, most often I would use an impact to do it, but in this case, I don't want to mess up the audio and the video with the loud impact, and you can achieve the same result with using hand tools. So that's what we're going to do. Now you want to be careful. Oh, let me make sure this is clamped down there good enough. You want to be careful because if this cup catches this, or you don't get this lined up just right, you can actually, the two ears on this drive shaft, you can tweak them and bend them, and then they won't line up, and good luck getting the new drive or new U-joint in. So you want to make sure, it's going to be difficult to do at first, but you want to make sure that you've got it lined up just the way it's supposed to be. And I don't have my thing locked down enough. Might be time for a bigger ratchet. 3/8 isn't cutting it. Make sure, before we go farther, I just want to make sure that it's actually pushing the way it's supposed to, and we're not bending these ears. Okay, you see how this is starting to come up? Just, it's, see if you can tell, it's hard to tell. This is up just a little bit more than that, which means it is starting to push it. And I can verify 100% that that is in there and it's not catching. So now let's go and get this taken care of. And there we go. You see how that's pushed out now there a lot more? We had a little bit of plastic left down in those grooves that was hanging on, and well, it let go. So let's go ahead and run this out now. Try to position that a little bit so it isn't going to catch. There we go. Okay, it's far enough. Then we'll loosen up. Pull that in. And see, there's that cup. It came out far enough that we can just grab it. And I will, but still warm. I'm gonna grab pliers. Okay, so it was still pretty warm. I'm gonna grab some pliers just in case. And you can see where there was still just a little bit of plastic left down in there, but we melted it enough to get it out. And there is our answer. Let's look at that gunk and all that stuff that's all corroded away and rusted up. That's bad. See this right here, how that looks nice and shiny and machined? That's what it should look like. That's not what it should look like. So let's go ahead and get the other side. Actually, how hot is it? Still kind of hot. Let me use pliers. It's actually pushed out here, but I don't think I'll be able to get it out this side. So I'm going to kind of push it back into its hole, and we'll push it out the other end just like it's supposed to be. You see how I'm just, I didn't even have it zoomed out. My apologies on that. Here we go. Alright, so we put that back in the hole. Sorry, I was zoomed in and I forgot to zoom back out. But we'll put that back in the hole because I can't get it far enough this way to pull that cap off. And as you can see, I've just gone by hand and it's starting to go in by hand. That's how easy it moves now. So just for ease of movement, I'm going to put the ratchet on it here. We're just going to push. My goodness. If I can stop dropping the ratchet. It's not even a ratchet, it's a breaker bar. Listen to me be all wrong and everything. Alright. So we'll just push it through. It's not catching on anything, it's just going nice and easy. And there we go. Back that out. And yeah, it's still warm. And that side is almost just as bad. So now that that's done, we've got this properly dirty and everything. We'll this U-joint, like I said, it will just fall out basically. Just comes right out. Now, let me reposition the camera here. So right here on the inside of this, you can see how dirty and filthy that is, and how there's still just a little bit of plastic left inside there. What we want to do is we want to get that cleaned up. We want to get all of this back to looking nice and the smooth, clean machine surface. We want to get all of this out of that groove. And we can use a little pocket screwdriver or a flat blade screwdriver or something to clean out that groove. And a brush or something similar to clean out the inside. You know, a little light superfine sandpaper, or like Scotch-Brite pads even. So let me back the camera back out so I'm not right in the way of it, and we'll get that cleaned up. So since my ball joint press is in the vise, I'm just running this down. It is literally just hand tight, just to kind of hold it in place. It is not pushing down on there. It's just to hold it there. Be careful. Now this is not one of the aluminum drive shafts, but especially the aluminum drive shafts are much more sensitive. But any of them, you can ding it, nick it, and cause problems with it. But just be careful, but you want to hold it so it's sitting against there. It's not going to damage it. Like I said, see, it's just by hand, just hand tight up against there, so I can hold that still and get that all cleaned out. And that's what we'll work on right now. All right, that's a lot better. Still warm in there. Anyway, so there we go. Let's take a look at that. Okay, it's been a little while. I got completely distracted. I don't know where I was or what point I was at, but so we've got it. I'll pick up just kind of where I'm at. We got it cleaned out. We're gonna put the new U-joint in, and like I said, the snap rings will sit, let me get one out here. The snap rings will set right inside here, but they'll set up against this flat landing right there. So what we'll do is we'll take off these, and let me show you this real quick. The oh wait, I'm way off. Those little rollers down inside there, they're just metal pins, and they can fall out of place, so you got to be really careful. But we're going to pull off that one and that one directly across from each other, and we're going to carefully insert this in through here and through the other side, and then we'll put this cap on and run it over here, and that is on there. And then we'll slide this cap in, and we want it to sit inside those rollers. And the little pocket that those rollers create, we want this to set inside both of these at the same time, so that as we push it together, we don't stand a chance of catching on the edge of one of the rollers, dropping one of the rollers, anything like that. So we want to be very careful in making sure that, little slivers of metal out of here, that we get those lined up on there. And it can be tedious, and I tell you what, these are some of the things you always stand a chance at messing up, just like I almost did right there. Anyway, let's redo this to make sure we didn't drop any. Put that in there. Make sure we didn't drop any here. Nope, we're good. Alright, right there. place. And that's your big concern here, is not having those rollers fall out of place. You see how it's just kind of going by hand right there? You got that? And then we'll take this snap ring, put it in place. It is snapped down. Then we will back it out and we'll flip it over and do the exact same on this side. Trying to get that centered up on there. Let me do this. I just took a block on this end, I don't know if you can see all the way down here, and held the drive shaft up on it. Should have done it earlier, just to help the drive shaft sit at a more level angle. And let's see if we can run this down in. There we go. And all you need is enough, just like we've got this in here, all you need is enough gap there to get your snap ring in there. Let me grab the other snap ring. Oh, it's right here. And we'll, oh, we got plenty. Right there. And it's down in there. And we double check it. It is all the way in the groove, and that one is still all the way in the groove. Now, for another piece of information here. This drive shaft, and let me see here if I can show you. I don't know, you saw me just put this in. I don't know if it's gonna turn. This turns, and it's got a little bit of resistance to it. And you really don't want that. You really don't want any resistance. You've got to be careful doing this on the aluminum drive shafts, but the steel ones, it's a little safer. You want to hit it. Now, I'm not like talking beat the drive shaft, but right up here where these ears are, you want to take it, and I'm not hitting it out or in or any direction really, just hitting it. And that's going to kind of let it vibrate and set itself in. And be obnoxious and knock that cap off. I should have been holding it. But, turns a little easier. Give it a couple more taps. Yeah, it's better. Not 100% perfect, but they'll kind of seat in. It's a lot better than it was when I first started to turn it. But I don't even know how long this video is at the moment because I got distracted. Everything, a lot of stuff came up. But we got this U-joint in, and it turns pretty nice and smooth. Snap rings are in. This end, if we were only replacing it, this end would be ready to go back into the vehicle. But right now, we're not only going to do it, we're going to do the other end because I don't know if I mentioned it before, but if we've got it out, that U-joint's lived the same life this U-joint has, so we're just going to go ahead and we're going to replace them both. Have good, fresh, new start on the drive shaft. But while we do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some tape, and I'm going to tape this up, and I will do that real quick. So apparently I've got no tape of any kind anywhere. Go figure. Only when I needed or wanted to use it. So I'm just going to take this rag and tie it on there, and that'll hold those cups in place, just so when I flip this around and this is down at the other end, it's not going to fall off. I've lost some of my natural lighting. It's gotten darker outside. So let's look at this. So we're going to start off the same way. We're going to take it out of here first and then pull it out of the yoke. But we're going to heat this up so that we can take that out. And again, I'm going to run this down just so it's holding it in place. Just holding it in place. Not super tight, like I just did it by hand. It's just holding it. So what's odd is I couldn't hardly get anything. I got quite a bit out of this side and that, but this side I couldn't hardly get anything out of. But I know there's some in there because that's just how it's made. So we're gonna go back and try again. Okay, that's as good as that's gonna get. I'm surprised. I thought I'd get a little bit more out of that side, but as you can tell, that's a little warm. We're gonna let it cool down. We'll come back to it. So I thought about it and I realized that maybe it's gonna be better if I press it out while it's still hot, rather than wait until it cools all the way down. So I'll show you what we're going to do. Take that out. We're going to use just the vise. Loosen this up a little. Not sure what is going to be hot around here and what's not. So trying to be careful. I'll go ahead and do it this way. I can make that work. Try to keep it right in line there. So that was a little warm. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to do the exact same thing that we did with the ball joint tool, only we're going to do it with a vise. I've never used this vise for it. I sure hope this vise is big enough. So, the premise is that we want a, this is one of the cups. See how that cup will fit down in there? We want a socket that the cup will fit in. And we want a socket that will fit against there. And what we'll do, and I'm starting to have a real bad feeling about this. I may not have enough room to do this. Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We may not figure it out. Oh my gosh. That's unfortunate. I can't believe I did that. 1 second. So, this is a bad deal. I used to have a bigger vise here, and I'd used it before, and I had never used this vise to do U-joints because, well, I have a U-joint, the U-joint and ball joint press, so I never needed to. And this vise is not big enough, and I do not have my vise with me or anywhere near here I can get. I'm going to have to go ahead and do this the same way I did the last one. So I'm sorry that I'm not going to be able to show you the second method, but basically it's using this as the end of that C press, that C clamp press that received the cap, and this as the drive, and just putting it inside the vise. It takes a little more juggling in that, but I really wish I'd been able to show you that, and I'm sorry I said I would, and I didn't. I will get the chance to do it at some point. I don't know when. I'll have to get a vise that is big enough. Right now, I don't have a vise that's big enough, and that's unfortunate. But we're going to try to just fly through this one the way we normally would, and I will use an impact on it. So I'll try to take care of you in the video and not mess up your ears or nothing. So, all right. We're ready to go. Watch your ears. There we go. That's one side taken care of. You see how much easier that went? See, when you're in a shop, you kind of got to do this stuff. There we go. Get that off. That is going to have to get lined back up so we can push it through because there is no... Oh my goodness, that yoke is warm. You believe that, guys? As long as I had that torch on there, that yoke got warm. I can't believe it. I am dropping stuff. Okay. There we go. Hold it straight. And it started. Once you've done it a couple times, you can kind of tell from the noise when it's getting caught and when it's going. And that was definitely going. And that was caught. Let's get this lined up. I don't have it lined up on the other side. There we go. Yep. Whew. Let's zip this off. The impact just with. There we go. Oh my gosh. There we bit in there. What in the world did we leave in there? Oh, just that little ring. Okay, so that we'll have to set aside and get cleaned up. But we still have the matter of this yoke. And you know what that means. Back to the torch. Back to the torch. Okay, so my apologies. At some point during that last bit, I lost the power on the camera. It just stopped recording. But I was heating this up, so we're going to continue doing that. Trying to heat itself up. There we go. Let's get that set and drive that U-joint out. Sorry guys, might be loud for just a moment again. Oh, look at that. Now let's try to line that up. That's started. That's a U-joint removal. Alright, we're going to let it cool down and then we'll clean it up and put it in. We're going to put both cups in. Let me grab that other U-joint. Okay, so take this U-joint, we're going to take 2 cups off across from each other. Double check, make sure there's no pins missing or falling down. And then we'll take the yoke here, kind of stand it up, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Let me make sure that's in shot for you there. Nope, it's not. So I didn't do that good of a job, but showing it. But basically, we just took this and where in the world is the camera? We cleaned it up on the inside, just like we did the other side or the other one. And then we're going to take it and we're going to put the U-joint in the same way that we did before. We're going to take it very carefully and walk it down inside. And then from one side we're going to bring this U-joint or this cap in. And it's going to sit right there. And then from the other side, we're going to take that cap and set it in. And we're going to push it. And you see how it's got that kind of gliding movement. Oh, it kind of fell down, but it's got a gliding movement back and forth. that means it's setting on the rollers and in the rollers, and we can carefully take this over here and we can put it back in the press. And we can press those cups in. All right. Just ratchet. Grab that snap ring. Where is it? Oh, there's my hammer. And we'll take this. Ooh, almost came out. Did that make it down in there? Let's double check it. Yep, that is in the groove. So we'll loosen up that. That cup is flip-flopping. Let's just make sure we've not dropped any bearings, and we're good. No, I don't like that. Whew! I also don't like grabbing that with my bare hand. Okay, so make sure we didn't lose anything in that cup. It's right there. And I guess I couldn't get that close if it had dropped a cup. So we're gonna call that good. And we'll grab this snap ring. And we've got the room to put it in. That's not supposed to happen. It happens every now and then. There it is. I just didn't keep my hand on it good enough. Go. Let's make sure that it's set down in the groove. And in the groove it is. It's a little tight. We'll accidentally take a cup off. Let's put that cup back on. And then, without letting those cups come off, let's... I keep grabbing that with my bare hand and I keep not liking it. Yeah, that's a whole lot better. I could just barely kind of move it before, but now, nice and smooth. Those taps help get it all back together and sitting just right. So let's widen this up a little bit, because we got to do on this one, it's not like the end where those two caps go under the straps. On this one we actually have to put both sides in. And we need to clean this up, which, let's make sure we're still recording. We're still recording. Good job. All right. just want to get these plastic nubs off of there. If I can. I keep doing that. Look at that. I keep setting stuff right in your guys' way. Inconsiderate I am. I tell you what, y'all yell at me when I do that. Alright, so again, keep grabbing that with my bare hand. Like a dummy. Alright. So take these caps off. Nothing dropped. Nothing dropped. We'll put it through here. Then put this cap on just the same as we have for the other ones. And like I said, what we're looking for is that to be gliding inside both. Yep, there we go. Oh, it slipped out. It's okay. Let's get it back in. I think this is usually the more difficult one, just because you've got more stuff to kind of deal with and keep an eye on. And see, this is exactly what I was talking about. Let me show you here. You see what happened when I let that fall is it dropped one of those, and if I had put that together like that, would have been no bueno. Would have not been good. So just stand that back up and it'll set right back in place. Yep, that's good. And make sure we didn't drop one on this one. Nope, we're good on that. So let's start that process over again. But what I'm going to do is what I should have done, just like before, is I'm going to lock this in place so it can't move. There we go. All right. Let's try this again. U-joint in. There we go. U-joint in. Alright. Now what I might do, if I can hold it just still, is just give a little bitty tap. Let's not grab that with our bare hand. Alright. So, here we go again. Let's get this ready. You're going to try to loosen this up. Set this up in place, just so. Put that where I can get to it. And hopefully see, what I'm trying to do is I got this cup pressed against this side just to kind of hold it there while I get it to where it's snug, and I won't accidentally knock that off. Then I'll start pushing this in. Okay, now let's make sure. There we go. Still good. We'll just go far enough that we can get that snapper in. Snap ring in, and then we we got to, and we've got enough room now. It's in far enough. It should not be able to come off of the rollers on the other side. So I'm not too horribly concerned, except if that roller, or if that cap were to come all the way out, then it would probably be able to come off of it. But as it sits here, I think we're good. I hope that wasn't. That snapping noise. You get that sometimes when it's coming apart. You don't always get it when it's going back together. And I really hope it wasn't the roller dropped and getting stuck in there and breaking, because that would suck. Something's not okay. Nope, something is not okay. There is a strong possibility that I did what I did not want to do and broke that roller. So let's find out. I don't know. I think it's just tweaked a little. No, it wouldn't be turning that easy if it was. I think I just need to tighten it down a little more. Nope, it is not in there. So, if I don't have it quite far enough, see, that runs way too smooth to have a broken there. I think I just need to get it a little tighter. Push it through a little bit more. Is in, but so we got the snap ring in. Yep, it's seated all the way, up and down, side to side, up and down, up and down, up and down, side to side. Yeah. That one was a little tougher there at the end, but trying to see if it just needs jarred a little better. That's good. Alright. So, long video. I know, kind of ran into a couple little issues, snags here and there, delays, but we got 2 new U-joints in, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to show you the method using the vise. I really wanted to. I did not realize this vise wasn't big enough to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out and I'm going to slide it back up into the vehicle. It slides right back into that transfer case the way it came out. Bolt it back down, and then we're going to go on a test drive and we're going to make sure that there's no noise, no vibration. Okay, so real quick, let's talk about these. These, Oh my gosh, you're not gonna focus? These are the newer style of grease fittings. You need the little needle adapter to put it on, or to grease it. But these go in the caps on the end of the U-joints. And you need to put these in, and you need to grease the U-joints. If you're doing U-joints, and they send these, or they have an area for these, you need to put a grease fitting in it, and you need to grease it when you put it back in. If you don't, you're cutting down the lifespan of that U-joint, and if you're doing it for yourself, you'll just end up having to replace them sooner. And if you're doing it for someone else, then they're going to end up having to do it. You're doing either yourself or whoever you're doing this for a disservice by not putting these in and greasing them. Now you need a little needle end adapter to put grease in these, and I'll show you what that looks like and how to do that here at the end of the video. But I'm getting ready to go put these in. You just take a little flat blade screwdriver, and there's a little pre-made hole in the end of the cap where these go in. Don't leave these out. Put them in. Okay, so last thing here. I know I've been kind of all over the place today filming this, but this is the grease fitting I showed you guys. That came from, this is a flush type grease fitting, and this, if I can show it, this is, it's kind of like a needle. This is low profile or flush type adapter. It's a long needle designed to just go down in here and put grease straight into there. You can actually use this on normal the normal grease fittings, but just where you can't hardly get to it, it's real tight fit. That's what they were originally designed for, I believe. And then, you know, they got this whole setup. Let me get grease coming out. Alright, here we go. So, you take it, and you have to hold it in there with a fair amount of pressure. And then run your grease gun. I can get underneath here. And if you see it start to come out of a boot or push back out, I can see it start coming out of one of those boots there, then you're good. That's enough grease. And that one's greased, and I'm going to run up and I'm going to do the other one too. But always, always, always grease any greasable objects, you know, ball joints, tie rod ends, whatever. Grease them. Alright, so like I said right there at the end, if you get greasable U-joints, always, always, always grease them. It will extend the life of them, and then you don't have to worry about trying to go through that whole mess again. You guys saw the pain in the butt that it was. I'm sure you don't want to go through that more often than you need to. All in all, it's not that bad of a job, but thank you for taking the time to check out this video. I hope it helped you. Feel free to check out some of the other videos on the channel. I'll put some right here and here for you to check out. And I will see you guys in the next video.